name is Jacinta, and I'm part of BPYC as a youth rep for the organization New Community Outreach. And I'm here with several reps from half of the orgs, and everyone will introduce themselves in a moment. This year, we've been doing a lot of reflections on what racial trauma is and learning about the movements to heal from it. Trauma Informed Awareness Day is a statewide effort to highlight the importance of trauma informed awareness and care. Since our group explores trauma caused by racism and other forms of oppression, we are participating in this Awareness Day via an activity called the Folded Map Project. The MAP activity invites people to think and talk about how we all are socially impacted by racial and institutional conditions that segregate the city. Today, we'll be having a group call to talk about our experiences with the project. And everyone had a different approach on how they targeted the project and how it felt to them. And so we're all going to see that today. And I'm really eager to hear what everyone has to say. What was the best part? What was the hardest part? Because there are many parts to the project. And so, is everyone ready?
Yes,
Okay.
we're ready.
Yes.
Now I'll pass it to Samaya.
Hi everyone, I'm Samaya. I'm from A Long Walk Home, nonprofit organization where we end violence for Black women and girls. I will be a mod today, and I will be passing it to Savannah.
Hi everyone. My name is Savannah. I am also from A Long Walk Home, and I will be the note keeper. And I will pass it to Demi.
So my name is Demolade. I'm a part of CYP, Chicago Youth Programs, and it's a program to help just nurture kids in underprivileged like neighborhoods, get us like into school and things like that, help us on our educational journey. It also provides things like summer camps.
I'm Jenna. I'm with Cumberland, and that's it. And I'm gonna pass it on to Naia.
Hey y'all, I'm Naia. I'm with Kumba Links, and I'll be a moderator today.
Hi, I'm Jada Nolan. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a part of A Long Walk Home.
Okay. And now it's on Samaya to just discuss like the interview process and the project.
Yes, so the project that we will be doing will analyze your neighborhood and go to another neighborhood that you may have never been before or that you frequent and compare the two. So first, I'd just like to ask, how is everybody's travels to different neighborhoods?
I feel like the experience was really like aware, like it made me more aware of my surroundings, because you can be aware of your surroundings when you're in like the exact moment, but when you're out of that environment, it's a whole different thing. So I just feel like the project overall was just very eye-opening, and I really did appreciate it.
To Wicker Park. I went to school around Wicker Park, so it wasn't hard to find different things to discover. But I did notice, because I'm from Auburn Gresham, which is on the south side of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from Wicker Park and then coming back home, I could just see the various differences. It's more local. There's so many more things that's down there that are just walkable. Like I have to take 2 buses to like get to Walmart, the good Walmart. Like it's truly excessive.
Okay.
Yeah, the 2 neighborhoods I went to. Well, I live in Woodlawn, so that was one. I work in like Lincoln Park / Old Town, so like up north versus out south. And I wanted to answer the question about, and also ask how the 2 neighborhoods that we chose were similar and different from each other. For me, Woodlawn is a predominantly Black neighborhood, while Lincoln Park is predominantly white. So that was one of the stark differences. And then also just the lack of resources in Woodlawn. It's definitely a food desert compared to like Lincoln Park, where there's like a grocery store on every corner, and it's like Mariano's and Whole Foods and stuff like that. So that was like one of the most significant things that I go last.
The two neighborhoods that I picked, I didn't actually go to the neighborhood that I picked, but I did live there for about 3 years. The neighborhood that I picked was Berwyn. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that neighborhood, but and I now live in Woodlawn, which is my second neighborhood. So yeah, to your point, I do agree that Woodlawn is very lacks a lot of resources as far as like access to fresh produce markets or like even after school programs for kids. Whereas in Berwyn, the schools are more properly funded. There are places for kids to go, and there's more access to both grocery stores and like nice restaurants or whatever or malls or what have you. So yeah.
You know, kind of bouncing off of that, how do you guys think racial trauma shows up in Chicago neighborhoods? And like, do you think that people associate fear or avoidance with certain neighborhoods more than others?
Well, I can go. So basically, in Lincoln Park, I went to school in Lincoln Park, so I kind of like know the setup. So there's like neighborhoods within Lincoln Park that are like, how would I, like government housing, things like that. There's like a certain like area in Lincoln Park, and like I know a lot of people that like live in those buildings, and they say like they get treated differently when they're in like Lincoln Park and things like that. Like what was formerly like Cabrini Green, like it was kind of like near there, but yeah, they get treated differently, and I guess that can bring trauma. And in the neighborhood I lived in, which is Uptown, it's like gentrified now, so it's like you don't really see people you usually see like on the neighborhood, if that makes sense. So
Can you ask the question again?
Of course. The question was, how does racial trauma show up in Chicago neighborhoods, and do people associate fear or avoidance with any of these neighborhoods?
I feel like when I share that, because I don't talk to too many people who are not from around my neighborhood, but I don't tend to get too many like, oh, you're from over there types of side eyes. But I definitely feel like there's definitely a big just stereotypes in general when it comes to like the opposite side, because coming from the north to the south, it's truly like the culture difference is truly crazy. Like, and I feel like something I appreciate about living on the south and living in my neighborhood is just the camaraderie of it. Like a lot of I could talk to my neighbors, you know, if they're like we ask each other for different things. It's like there's a community there. While like on the north side, Wicker Park, everyone's very much to themselves, and the area is beautiful, it's nice, but it's like they have all these resources to be individual, so they choose to just be individual and not engage in community.
oh, I was gonna ask you like what do you mean by like resources to be individual, like what do you mean by that?
I guess like so being on the south, you know, since there's not much we have, we like so I notice like people tend to ask each other for things more. Yeah, you don't really need to interact with everyone if you don't need anything from them, I notice.
I would agree. I think I know what you're talking about because I know that like I'm originally from the west side of Chicago, and on the west side um there's a lot more community within like predominantly black neighborhoods. Like people would just be each other's support system because of the lack of, you know, resources. So I think I understand what you're talking about, Samaya.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. And to answer the question, I was gonna say, because the question is, how does racial trauma show up in Chicago neighborhoods? I feel like it shows up because of like the scenery, like because the neighborhood that I chose was South Shore, because that's where I live. I live in the South Shore area, so I feel like there can be more done to make the city, just the overall city of Chicago better, period. With like better funding, better buildings, so because the visual aspect of our city plays a huge role on us, whether we know it or not. Like because I really don't like I'll be driving down a certain street or a certain city and you'll just see abandoned buildings, trash and stuff everywhere, and it just puts you in a mood. So it's the scenery is very important and it does play a role in trauma. Yeah.
That was good. That was really good. They've built like I think it's like how many buildings now around Uptown? Like 4 like glass, like updated buildings around Uptown. And I feel like even though that is supposed to be like helping the community or bringing like it up, I think that's excluding a lot of the people who already live there.
Jenna, do you have something to say?
It was something else I wanted to touch on as well, but I definitely feel like racial trauma, it shows up in everywhere in Chicago. It really doesn't matter. I think somebody had touched on like when they knocked down the Greens and how everybody was displaced like that. Like I definitely feel like it doesn't really matter where you are, even if you're in Uptown and it was gentrified, there's still some type of racial trauma that's happening over there. It's still people that don't have money or haven't been gentrified that are still around in those areas. And then somebody has said like they don't really talk to people that's not really like not in their community and stuff. And I be all over the city, and it's just crazy. Like you'll tell somebody you from out west, and they'll get to looking at you crazy. Somebody told me the other day that we don't have grass, and I was like, "What you mean we don't have grass? I got grass in my front lawn." And I live in out west, so I was just like, "Okay, interesting." It is funny how people just perceive different neighborhoods and stuff like that. Or Woodlawn, I know people that would be like, "I would never step over there." I got brothers that will not even come to my neighborhood because I live in a little village.
I was gonna say, what does community health and wealth mean in like from your point of view? Like, what do you see as community wealth and health?
I can touch on that. I feel like my thing is that there's no such thing as community wealth or community health until everybody is included within that. Because in my experience, the wealth and the health that we get is almost always exclusive to the white populations or whatever population has closest proximity to whiteness.
Like the people who make up the community is being excluded. You know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, that's
And I feel like, to me, community wealth and community health, they do go hand in hand. And it's not community wealth and health. It's just not one simple thing that one person does. It's more of a collaborative thing.
Hello, my name is Maria, she, her, and I'm part of BPYC as a youth rep for the organization Girls Inc. Today on the call with us, we also have other reps from Girls Inc., Cats Hills, and Northwest Center. We'll have them say hello soon. First, I just want to give some info on what's happening today. Earlier, we got to hear from half of the group. Just to give the full intro, every representative was asked to reflect on an area they call home, then visit a neighborhood different from their own. We used a kit to take action called the Folded Map Project. As a reflection tool to understand and promote racial healing in the city, this is about the fear or lack of care people have about different parts of Chicago. Today, we will be having a group call to continue the talk about our thoughts on the project.
Hi, my name is Star, she, her from Girls Inc., and I'll be the interviewer for the call today. How would you describe the vibe of your neighborhood?
So for Market Park, the vibe there is quite surprisingly, it's very quiet down there. Um, as you're driving or walking down there, all you would hear was maybe kids giggling, people walking, and cars just driving by. There's not really that much noise down there. Um, but as for downtown, uh, it's very noisy because there's a lot of chatter, noise, trains, buses. Um, I would say downtown is a bit more unpredictable.
I agree with that. Okay. So my question to you guys is, What kind of things do you feel are missing in your neighborhood compared to like others? We can start with Gabe.
One thing I noticed a lot while going to Lincoln Park is that there's like a lot of trains. There's like the train station is like very connected, and it really helped me like get to each place. And in Belmont Cragen, they only have buses. So like when I was going to Belmont Cragen, I'd have to like walk more and I have to get to each bus stop, which kind of cost me a bit more. What moved me the most was definitely seeing like the difference in like travel. Like I didn't really think about that too much. Like I would just like get on the bus. But now thinking on it, it's pretty crazy that like, that could really affect people. Like they have to like spend more money and they have to walk around more. And that like over time that kind of sucks because like train made it really easy for me in Logan Park and what's it called? Lincoln Park. So yeah, that was the most I think like interesting part of my journey. So I would definitely say for Belmont Cragen, it'd be really good to have more trains.
Well, in Gage Park, it has a variety of different like bus lines, and the closest train station you could find would be the Orange Line. But one thing I'd say is that they don't have a lot of like benches to sit on while you wait for the buses. So sometimes like I've noticed like there's one in like California over here. There's like it's kind of dangerous to just wait in the bus because like the street isn't like flat as you could say. I thought that was pretty interesting to notice.
Okay, so more like transport areas where people can get on trains and stuff.
Um, yeah, oh, a lot of pace buses too. That was pretty interesting to see because it's like near the suburbs, but I'm not used to seeing a lot of pace bus. So yeah.
I would agree with that a lot. Naya, what do you think that your neighborhood should add more that you probably don't see in your neighborhood?
What I've noticed is that Marquette Park has nothing but gas stations and drugstores around, which is a huge problem because there are times where I just want to, go get some like pleasant to go eat. Um, but yeah, there's not really that much to go get other than junk food since there's no restaurants around, which is it's a very big problem.
Um, I'd say I also agree with Nayo that I feel like we need a little bit more of restaurants nearby because I feel like I also like I just want to go out and get something quick or like just like enjoy my time going to a restaurant and eat. But there's like just like small shops to just buy stuff here. And I think that's mainly what I see here. And I'd say flatter like sidewalks because I try walking sometimes here. So I need a flat like sidewalk, not like a crooked or broken one because then I don't know, it's just difficult to walk. Mm.
Alright. I just said that I felt like we needed more block clubs in our neighborhoods to ensure the safety of not only the youth but the community as a whole. I also feel that we needed more streetlights to make it more visible to reduce the amount of fear when walking through our neighborhood, as well as stop signs to ensure that no collisions happen again.
Nah, okay, I can agree with that. Definitely street lights. It's really dangerous during the dark time. You can't see anything if there's no street lights out there. Okay, so what is the difference between public health and healthcare?
I said that public health is the well-being of the community as a whole, while healthcare is the services being provided, such as therapists, doctors, etc.
Nah, that's pretty messed up if you really think about it. Definitely when there's people like in your neighborhood that can truly need it.
In Oak Park, the life expectancy is 83 years, while in Beaumont Cragen is 73 years. In Oak Park, only 11% of their population has diabetes, while in Beaumont Cragen, it ranges from 20% to 37%.
And that's a 10-year, what's it called? Life expectancy difference. So that means like diabetes rates, Belmont Cragen is 3 times more compared to Oak Park. And that's scary because like if you don't move to Oak Park, you'll suffer through different health problems or have a shorter life expectancy because of the area you live in and the resources available to you.
Okay. So thank y'all for having this chat together, and let's all say our names and organizations again to say goodbye. I'll start once again. I am Maria from Girls Inc.
My name is Star. I'm from Girls Inc.
My name is Naya, and I'm from Girls Inc. as well.
My name is Gabriel, and I'm from the Northwest Center.
My name is Christian, and I'm from Northwest England. Thank you all.